Anyway, how's everybody doing? Deebo's back. Deebo's back. Where were you when you got the news?
Yay!
I was just getting on the Bay Bridge, and the old beep, 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 and my car pops up with the show thread, and you hit it, and it's like, oh, that's exciting.
Well,
could have used that about an hour ago.
I know. Well, yeah.
As you and I were slapping our way through the final hour. Totally.
Yeah. No, I like in true sort of, I think in a true picture of what this felt like to a lot of 49er fans. Because this came up as a rumor earlier in the week, and I was like not inspired by it. I'm still not overly inspired by it, but the news about Ricky Pearsall, which is still nothing official, but that hadn't come out as of yet. If it's a depth thing, that's fine. There are people out in the world that saw this signing yesterday and have decided that Deebo Samuel is wide receiver 2 on the 49ers. And I'm thinking to myself, like he better not be. If it ends up that way through injuries and whatnot, okay, that's one thing. But to me, this is a guy who knows the system. So it's August tomorrow. You need more depth. If you have a guy that brings a specific skill set and knows your system, that makes all the sense in the world. Therefore, that's fine. If you're relying on Deebo to be the star that he used to be, which I don't think they are, but if they are, that's not good. I don't think that's the way to play this season. In other words, my hope is that Dejon Stribling is ready to be a bigger factor this year than Deebo Samuel. I don't know if it'll play that way at all. That's my hope.
Yeah, and you look at last year, and I ran the numbers in the offseason. They completed the third lowest percentage of passes to wide receivers. Only 2 teams had a lower percentage. So I do think you had to address that this year, and you've done it in so many ways. And now I'm kind of waiting for the Ricky Pearsall news to come out today on a late Friday where the announcement might be he's going to undergo surgery and Ricky Pearsall will be out for 6 to 9 months. This is unconfirmed, but my gut tells me It's going to be a Friday news dump kind of thing. I don't believe that you bring in Deebo, even though $7 million for 1 year is nothing. You don't do that if Ricky Pearsall is going to be ready in week 4 or 5, in my opinion. And Deebo, last year you can look at the numbers and discount him or praise him. The one number you can't discount is he played 16 of the 17 games.
He played.
And he can block.
And he knows what Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers do. So, there's no issue there. And there is, I know we get, especially like Warrior fans have been through this a lot lately, but the nostalgia game to me is a double-edged sword. You know, like it's fun, but at the same time, trying to recreate the days gone by is not usually a good way to go about things in the NFL, but you can't discount the nostalgia. To the point, this is how I found out yesterday. I'm driving, I get home, I pull the phone out, and my family thread has gone crazy. There's like 5 texts from my kids, and I'm going, boy, 5 texts from the kids, everybody all right? So I pick up the phone and I open it up, and the first one is from my 19-year-old, and all it says is, Deebo!
I love it.
Vowels everywhere. Right? I'm like, oh, man. And then my daughter, before I could get to anything, jumps in and does that whole like, wait, what? Shut up. Get out of here. OMG. All of that. And that's how yesterday felt for a lot of 49er fans. I mean, how long did it take you before your mind went to Boombox?
Not long.
Boombox.
Right.
Boombox is back.
And does he get his spot back?
I would think.
But if you're wide receiver 4 or 5, and I'm not saying he will be.
But you're Deebo.
You are Deebo.
Deebo and Trent bringing the team out. Come on. If they don't do that in Australia, to me, they're doing it wrong.
That's going to be tough to top. And I just think about the wide receiver group this year versus last year. Jennings, 55 catches last year, gone. Bourne, 37, gone. Pearsall, 36, likely gone. We don't know yet officially. Demarcus Robinson had 22, and Jordan Watkins had 2. You bring back 24 catches by your wide receiver core, and so now it's Evans. He is legit. Hope he can stay healthy. Kirk, Cavs are tricky.
Yep.
He's already in a bit of a spot early on, and then you pop in Dejon Stribling. We don't know. I'm liking what he potentially could be.
They love
then
him.
You throw in Deebo Samuel, and you've got yourself at least some depth that you're probably going to need.
Yeah, DeMarcus Robinson, Jacob Cowing kindly changed his number immediately so Deebo could have number 19. By the way, don't forget, Deebo was number 1 when he left.
Right.
That's Ricky Pearsall's number. Here's the other thing, and I do wonder how this made everybody feel. And we'll take some calls on this. I think we're not 100% sure. We're chasing. We're working on it. But I think TJ Hushmanzada is going to join us next hour. And with everything going on wide receiver-wise with the 49ers, that promises to be a really interesting conversation. So working on finalizing that. But until then, 888-957-9570 is the number. This thought crossed my mind with Deebo Samuel coming back. There seems to be, with the 49ers right now, some Pablo Sandoval energy going on, and here's what I mean by that. Deebo's not the only one. Dre Greenlaw did it too. Both of these players left here not that long ago with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. A little bit of Deebo and the Niners were mature with each other, but don't forget what Deebo's last year was like. He was a little upset with the targets, and then he got that target on the rainy Thursday night against the Rams that might have won the game, and he dropped it. And we were arguing with long snappers, and it just sort of felt like it had run its course. And so the 49ers are thinking, let's move on. And Deebo's like, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do that. Let's move on. Out to Washington to build a whole new whatever he's going to do. Same thing with Dre Greenlaw. Remember? Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner's partner. The thought was the Niners wanted to keep Dre. They tried, but Dre, quote, wanted to run his own shop. He wanted his own linebacker core. And he went to Denver, and we almost immediately heard not a good fit. Not a good fit. Partially it was injury, but just I don't think Dre's personality, which can be big, fit very well with the Denver Broncos. And what did both players do immediately when given the opportunity because they found that their new teams were not a fit? Bang.
Yeah, you come back.
I'm going home.
Well, I think they did it for different reasons. Dre Greenlaw early on saw a chance and an opportunity to go back to where he had the most success. And Deebo, I think, was just sitting out there waiting for something to happen to somebody somewhere. And not to say that he wouldn't have come back here anyway, but when Ricky Pearsall gets the swelling and now it seems like he's heading for surgery on the PCL, we don't officially know. But at that point, you're not trying to step over Ricky's body and, get in his way, but you get word that they may need a wide receiver and you're still available. And so your people call their people and you have each other's number. And it didn't take long for Deebo to get that $7 million for the 1 year.
Compliment to the 49ers organization, yes or no?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And, you look at last year and I mentioned the availability, which is everything. 72 catches with a multitude of quarterbacks on a team that wasn't great. And he was a guy who was available, and he's out there making the plays that he could make. And so he still has something left. And one thing TJ, actually, I saw his Twitter, he was talking about Deebo's weight. Like, you can't come back here at 225. Right. I want you at 215. And so we'll see what Deebo looks like out on the field.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that more coming up next. The fact that both of these players decided on their own to rejoin the 49ers after at least some feathers ruffled on their way out the door just a year ago. What does that mean to y'all? I'd like to say a few things about that. You can too.